Hi there, my name's Taya and I work at the Live Oak Public Library and I am in charge of the monthly adult craft program. The month of March we are going to be creating a cutout tree canvas right here, and the materials you are going to need for this are the canvas, some black paint, a paintbrush, a cup of water and paper towels, an X-Acto knife or blade, a ruler, a pencil, and you can also optionally print and cut out a stencil of a tree or whatever you would like to cut out. And then if you do that, you're going to need some scissors as well. All right, so our first step is going to be to take our ruler, our pencil, and our canvas, and I'm just going to go ahead and create an outline around the canvas about the width of the board, just so we make sure we don't cut the X-Acto blade into that, and it creates the nice border effect that is shown in this picture right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my ruler, and I'm going to line it up. I can kind of see through right here in the middle, so I can see where the board is. I'm going to line it up and make sure it's straight. And then take the pencil and just make a line down the canvas. I'm going to do this on all four sides so that we have a nice, thick, even border around our canvas. As you can see, our border is done on the canvas. So the next step is going to be to take our pencil and we're going to go ahead and put on our tree. So if you are using a stencil, this would be the time when you cut that stencil out, put it on the canvas, and then trace around the tree. So since I'm going to be doing it freehanded, I'm just going to take this time and go ahead and draw my tree on. So I'm going to start in the middle. You can do it off to the side and make it a curvy tree, whatever you want to do. Just remember that you are going to have to cut out the lines, so try to make it a little bit easy on yourself. I'm going to try and do something very similar to the picture because I feel like that's the easiest way to do it. So I'm going to start a little off center and just start to draw my tree. And you can create as many branches or as little branches as you want. Just remember that you are going to have to cut out the negative space later, so you may want to keep it as easy on yourself as you can. All right, so I have went ahead and drawn on my tree onto the canvas. Next step is going to be to take our X-Acto knife and to cut out the negative spaces around the tree. As you can see, the tree is connected to the border of the canvas, and then we cut out the spaces that are not the tree. I'm going to start by cutting out these big spaces right here and here. So I'm going to make an incision with my blade, and I'm going to start cutting right here along this border, up the tree trunk and right underneath this branch, and meet where I started. Make sure you don't cut all the way around your border or your tree will just fall right off the canvas, and we do not want that. So we're gonna go ahead and start cutting out the negative space. And then after I cut out my big spaces, I'm going to go ahead and cut out all of the smaller pieces as well, and that may take a little bit of work. All right, I have cut out my tree, and I will say there are a few branches that I've kind of just ripped a little bit or that I had to cut out because they were too thin. Trial and error. I'll know next time if I ever do this again to be a little less ambitious. I will say as well that I did learn that if you put cardboard underneath the tree, it does make it easier to cut out. So that is a helpful tip. Our next step is going to be to go ahead and begin to paint our canvas black. I've got some black acrylic paint and some paint brushes, and I'm just going to paint the whole thing black. And I'm also going to make sure I paint the inside of this wood right here just so it doesn't stick out as much, so that it's completely universal in color. So now I'm just going to begin painting all this, and I'll be really gentle when I'm painting the branches to make sure that I don't cause any more ripping or damage to them. So you're going to paint your whole canvas black, and we'll come back after that. All right, I have painted my entire canvas, and whenever the paint dries, it makes the canvas a little tighter, so it kind of turns in the edges. I think it adds a cooler effect to it. If you want to avoid this though, instead of buying a white canvas and painting it black, you can just buy a straight black canvas. It'll save you some time and some hassle. That's completely your own prerogative. And this is our March craft all completed. If you enjoyed this video, please look out for more in the future from Suwannee River Regional Library. Thanks and have a great day.